Kill your mind before your mind kills you. People wonder, why should I kill my mind? Because if you don't kill your mind will kill you. Have you ever seen the mind? Where is the mind? You cannot find. The mind is nothing but a bundle of thoughts. Therefore, when there are no thoughts, there is no mind. But for any normal human being, the mind is the biggest problem. The mind is a rascal. The mind is a monkey. It keeps on jumping from thought to thought to thought to thought. The mind creates fear, worry, stress, anxiety. Along with the ego, it creates anger, hate, revenge, jealousy. It destroys our peace. It steals our happiness. Therefore, we must kill the mind. We must kill the mind, and the way to kill the mind is to still the mind. It's very simple. The mind is thinking practically one thought every second. This can be 50 thoughts a minute. It can go up to 50,000 thoughts a day. And do you wonder why you worry? You have any doubt who's causing the stress, the depression, the anxiety? Who is giving even the thought of suicide? It is the mind. And if somebody did not control the mind, did not kill the mind, and the mind led them into a suicidal thought, they are dead. Because that one thought in their head made them jump off a building, make them take some poison. The mind can destroy us. And therefore today, we are talking about how we have to kill the mind. People are confused because they say, when there is no mind, how can I kill it? Where is the mind? I can touch my nose, I can feel my ears, I know I can see with my eyes, I have feet, I have hands. But where is the mind? If I can't find the mind, then how can I kill it? Because we realize that the mind is nothing but a bundle of thoughts, we have to still the mind to kill the mind. Which means normally, the mind has an MTR, a mental thought rate of about 50 thoughts a minute. You cut the MTR to 40, to 30, to 20, to 10, till you reach that state known as consciousness. You reach that state known as thoughtlessness. How do you reach that state of thoughtlessness? When you still the mind, there are no thoughts, but still there will be a thought. In the state of consciousness, thoughts don't bombard you. Thoughts don't come in an uncontrolled manner. So therefore, that state, often referred to as a state of mindfulness, as a state of thoughtlessness, as a state of consciousness, that state is a state where you are a master of the mind. Otherwise, we are like a monkey. We are jumping. We are jumping to a past that is gone, a future not yet born. And we are living with regrets and shame and worry and fear. For what? It is only because the mind is our master. Therefore, if you want to live being a master of the mind, you move from a state of mind to a state of consciousness. In that state of consciousness, the intellect shines. What is the difference between mind and intellect? The mind is like a thought factory. It is constantly producing thought. Have you seen the popcorn machine? Pop, 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 pop. It keeps on popping corn. The mind keeps on popping thoughts. What kind of thoughts? It depends on the raw material you feed it. If you feed the mind with negative raw material, it's called NEP, negative energy poison, you will get negative thoughts. If you feed the mind, the thought factory, with positive raw material, it's called PEP, positive energy that creates power. There will be positive thoughts. Just like a popcorn machine. If you put caramel corn, you get caramel popcorn. You put salted corn, you get salted popcorn. But we don't realize that we can be a master of the mind. What we need to do is to control thought. Unfortunately, in thought, we are caught. And because we are caught in thought, we are searching for peace. The truth is peace you don't have to find. Peace you don't have to find. It is within. Just still the mind. But are we able to still the mind? No, because the mind is always producing thoughts of nep. The mind works in a very simple fashion. If you don't feed it with pep, with positive emotions, it will automatically produce negative thoughts. Because the mind is our biggest enemy. It does not want us to be in peace, in happiness. The mind does not want us to realize the truth. The mind does not want us to be in consciousness. Because the moment we are in consciousness and we realize the truth of the mind ceases to exist. Therefore, the mind fights very hard for us not to be in that state of consciousness, not to reach that state of thoughtlessness. Unfortunately, we are not able to provide pep to our mind all the time. Pep are positive emotions like faith, hope, love, courage, confidence, optimism, forgiveness, compassion, kindness. Therefore, nep comes in. What is nep? Fear, worry, stress, anxiety, depression, anger, hate, revenge, jealousy, pessimism. These negative thoughts become nep and they rule the mind. Therefore, the mind is in command. We are not able to reach that state of consciousness in which the intellect shines. Remember, one of the two are in command of your life. Either the mind or the intellect. If the mind is in command, you will be constantly bombarded with thoughts. That's when you know the mind is in command. When the intellect is in command, you're in a state of silence, a state of thoughtlessness, a state of consciousness. In this state of consciousness, thoughts appear like little cable cars on a trolley system, one by one. And then the intellect discriminates these thoughts, whether it is black or white, wrong, right. The intellect is to discriminate thought. But provided there are no thoughts, if thoughts are bombarding us all the time, then we will fail in this battle with the mind. Isn't it very funny that the mind doesn't exist? It is just a bundle of thoughts. But this mind controls our life. Today in this world, there are thousands of practitioners who are talking about mind medicine, psychiatry. And this has become such a big thing in the world today because people have got so much trauma caused by the mind. There is trauma because we don't understand the reality of this drama. If we realize this entire world is a show and we are actors, we come and we go, and the mind is an illusion, it gets along with the ego and becomes me and does karma and comes back again and again to this earth in a rebirth, we will realize the truth. But how do we get to realizing the truth? When the mind, the monkey mind, makes a donkey of us. There was a man who was riding a horse. Somebody went and told him, "Sir, where are you going?" He said, "I don't know. Ask the horse." Isn't it true? Sometimes we don't know where we are going because our life horse is in the hands of the monkey mind. The monkey mind makes us a donkey. It takes over our life horse and we are no more the boss. Therefore, it is very important for us to be in command of our life. And to be in command of our life, we have to be in command of our mind. Kill the mind before the mind kills you. It means still the mind. Kill the mind means still the mind. And people ask me, well, how do you control thoughts? How can I control thinking? I ask them, can you control walking and talking and eating? Yeah, I can. So you control thinking. It's a discipline. Some people use meditation. They silence the mind. Some people use the method of taming the five senses. The five senses are known to be the five horses of the chariot of our life. The five senses are galloping, and they are galloping with the reins of the mind. If you shut off the five senses, the eyes, the ears, the nose, the tongue, the skin, if you're able to tame the five senses, then you tame the monkey mind and you make it into a monk. Who's a monk? M-O-N-K is one who is a master of the mind. O, only in yoga. N, no desires. And K, karma transcended. A monk is one who is no more doing things, because a monk lives in surrender. But people don't know how to move from this monkey to a monk. The word monkey has a tail. The tail is EY. If you cut this tail of EY, of the monkey mind, what's left is the monk. But what is this EY of the monkey? The monkey mind is ever yelling, ever yearning. Therefore, if you want the monkey to become a monk, you cut the tail, and what you have is a silent monk. Unfortunately, it's not easy, because the mind is like a phoenix. Even if you try to kill it, it will reappear. As long as we are alive, as long as this body has breath, till our death, the mind and the ego cannot be killed, cannot be annihilated. We can transcend me, the mind and ego. We can tame the monkey mind. We can transcend the ego, but they will be alive as long as we breathe. Therefore, what is this whole game with the mind? We have two options. Either we can become a slave of the mind, and then the mind will think and think and think and make us blink and make us sink. We will be a slave and we will take misery to our grave. But if we become the master of the mind, if we become a monk, if we control the mind through the intellect, if we still the mind, if the mind is no more agitated, then we are in control of our life. Look around you. People have depression. The cause of depression is nothing but aggression of thoughts. When there is an aggression in thinking, there is a depression in life. But we have to realize this. The depression that we go through is because of the rascal mind. We don't realize it. The mind fools us. The mind makes us think, hey, I am king. I am everything. What can you do without the mind? And the majority, they get fooled by the mind. They follow the mind, not realizing that the mind is our enemy. We think that the mind and intellect is one. They are not. The mind fools us into believing that it is the intellect. But the fact is, the mind is a rascal. The mind is a monkey. The mind is our biggest enemy. The moment we realize this, the moment we are able to control thinking, the moment we reach that state of thoughtlessness or the state of consciousness, we become intellect. The moment we reach that state of consciousness, the intellect shines. The intellect takes command of our life. And the mind, we cannot find. Why? You cannot find the mind because it's just a bundle of thoughts. And the moment there are no thoughts, there is no mind. Have you noticed sometimes when you sleep, the mind doesn't leave you. It troubles you with dreams. But once in a way you have that state of deep, dreamless sleep. You wake up and you say, I slept like a log. It is in that state of dreamless sleep that you experience consciousness. You experience thoughtlessness. That is the goal, to reach that state where we have no thoughts. where we are in command of our thoughts, where the intellect is ruling our life, not our mind. So from now, if the mind tries to fool you, if the monkey mind is jumping into a yesterday that is gone and tomorrow not yet born, stop. Stop and tell yourself, I make a vow to be happy in the now. Realize who is stealing your peace? It is the mind. Who is stealing your bliss, your happiness? It is the mind. The mind is your biggest enemy. And you can kill your mind. You don't need an AK-47. You don't need a cannon. You need to still the mind. Because when you still the mind, you kill the mind. There is no mind. That's why nobody has seen the mind. The mind is an illusion. Not only it makes us suffer on earth, it makes us return in a rebirth to suffer again and again. The saints of the past have taught us, go beyond the mind. That's why they practice meditation. They practice silence. Because in that state of silent meditation, there is no thought. In that state of thoughtlessness and consciousness, we experience a state of bliss known as Ananda, known as Sat Chit Ananda. We realize the truth. We are in that state of nirvana, a state of deep peace and bliss. Do you know? You want to be happy? You can't be happy without peace. Peace is the foundation of happiness. You may be celebrating, but the moment you get news which robs your peace, you lose your happiness. So you need peace. But peace is in the hands of the mind. As long as the mind is in command, there cannot be peace. Because it is the mind that destroys our peace. It attacks us, it bombards us with thoughts. And these thoughts, they destroy our peace. But the moment we still the mind, we kill the mind, then there are no thoughts. Then we are in that eternal state of consciousness. In this state of consciousness, the intellect realizes the truth, often known as a state of enlightenment. We realize the simple truths of life. We come with nothing, we go with nothing. Nothing is mine. Everything is thine. All these realizations come in a state of consciousness. And the mind doesn't want this realization. Because the moment we realize we are not this body that will die, we are not the mind and ego me that appears to be. The moment there is enlightenment, the moment there is realization of the truth, the mind ceases to exist. The mind fights very hard to stop us from this enlightenment, from realization. It wants to exist, not just in this birth on earth, but it wants to come back again and again. Do you? Do you want to suffer? Do you want to suffer pain of the body, misery of the mind, agony of the ego? Do you want to suffer the triple suffering on earth? And do you want to return in a rebirth? It's very easy. Make your mind your king. And it will take you through all the suffering. But you want peace? You want happiness? Still the mind. Kill the mind. Be a monk. Be a master. Because those who are said to conquer the mind, they are mightier conquerors than those who conquer the world. For if you conquer the mind, there is nothing more to conquer. Remember, kill the mind before the mind kills you. And the time to do it is now.